There we go. Okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 5. This sermon has a lot of meaning to me for a couple of different reasons. Number one, in our church, we're starting Stewardship Month. Stewardship, that term in the New Testament, a steward at the time of Christ, was somebody who was responsible for everything but owned nothing. He ran, often we would call a large farm. Sometimes with hundreds of workers. Most of the time they were slaves. Sometimes the steward himself was a slave, but a well-educated slave. And other times the steward was somebody that was paid by the owner. And especially in the Roman Empire, about 150 to 250 families really owned the entire Mediterranean world. Think all of France, all of Spain, all of Italy, most of Germany. Think all of the Balkans, Greece, Israel, Syria, Turkey, Egypt, Libya. Think of that whole area. And really turn me down just a little bit, about 200 families owned all that, maybe 250 at most. And they had these huge, what we would call plantations, huge plantations, literally hundreds and hundreds and thousands of acres. And they would put slaves to run those plantations, and they would move from plantation to plantation through the course of 5 or 6 or 7 years. And they had these villas. And they made tons of money off of this. And they would put a manager in charge, and that person was called a steward. And so a steward was somebody that we read about in the Bible. And the Bible says that what is required of a steward is that you are faithful. A steward is to be faithful. And a steward didn't get paid. They didn't own anything, but they were responsible for everything. And the Bible says that we as believers, that we are stewards. We don't own it, but we're responsible for everything that we have been given. When I think of stewardship of my country, that's why I encourage people to vote.